1. Listen closely. This moment is not random. The timeline of heaven has aligned perfectly for your eyes to fall on these words right now. Out of millions moving across this world, the Spirit of God singled you out for a revelation. You have been wondering why you feel so different, why the weight on your life has always been heavier, why rejection has followed you even when your heart was pure. It is because you were never meant to blend in, you were meant to stand apart. Every unusual battle you have faced has been a signpost of divine selection. The storms that others avoided came to you not to destroy you, but to awaken the warrior inside you. Heaven allowed you to be broken so that light could leak from your cracks. You were being refined while others were being entertained. You were being trained while others were sleeping. The word of the Lord declared through Isaiah, chapter 43, verse 1. Fear not, for I have redeemed you, I have called you by name. You are mine. Those words are the seal over your life. You are not lost, not forgotten, not a mistake wandering through time. You are known by name in heaven's archives. God Himself spoke your identity before your birth, and every challenge you faced since then has been proof of that calling. When you were abandoned, He was marking you. When doors closed, He was redirecting you. When your heart shattered, He was rewriting your destiny through the fragments. You see, being chosen means being called out. It means you can't go where others go or do what others do. Your spirit doesn't fit into shallow places anymore because it's been summoned to higher ground. You've tried to silence the fire inside you, tried to be normal, but the Spirit will not let you. That discomfort is divine. It's heaven refusing to let you live beneath your purpose. Every pain has been a prophetic rehearsal for what's coming next. The tears you cried in secret were not wasted. They were watering the seeds of your next season. Every unanswered prayer was heaven's protection, not neglect. You are being prepared for influence that ordinary endurance could not produce. That's why your journey looked like wilderness while others walked through gardens. You were being purified for something sacred on a chosen one. This is the hour of unveiling. The silence is breaking. Heaven is about to show you why you were chosen out of millions. You will soon see how every disappointment, every closed door, every lonely night was a chapter of divine alignment. The glory that's coming will make sense of the pain that preceded it. But before that glory is revealed, you must agree with heaven's call. Speak it now, not with hesitation, but with authority. I am chosen. When you declare it, you shift your atmosphere. The same voice that called your name through fire and trial now calls you into purpose. Heaven is not waiting for your perfection, it's waiting for your permission. Your next act is simple, but it's sacred. Like, share, and comment 37 below as a sign that you received this message. That number is your prophetic symbol, a declaration that the cycle of confusion ends and the season of clarity begins. This is not for vanity, it is for visibility, because when you respond publicly, you testify to the unseen world that you accept your calling. Stay connected. Subscribe if you haven't already, because the next section will not just speak to your ears, it will confirm what your spirit has known all along. The revelation has only begun. Heaven is about to reveal why you were chosen out of millions. You stand on holy ground now. The season of hiding is over, and heaven's eyes are fixed on you. What was once confusion will turn into divine clarity. Every unanswered why will echo with purpose. Your name is already being spoken in rooms your feet haven't entered yet. The winds of change are shifting. Destiny is no longer whispering, it's calling loudly. You will recognize divine timing in sudden alignments, faces, and open doors. What you lost will return multiplied. Heaven's timing has reached your name. and nothing can delay what's already ordained for you. Angels move on command even now. Your obedience in this moment activates the next step of your purpose. You will walk where others fell, rise where others doubted, shine where others hid. The same fire that once burned you will now light your path with holy direction. Stand firm. This is the turning point. Your season of silence becomes your stage of revelation. God is not finished. He is only beginning to unveil what He placed inside you. Lift your eyes, you are not forgotten. You are chosen and the world is about to know it. World, you have walked through fire and wondered why it did not consume you. The answer is simple. You were marked by fire, not destroyed by it. Every flame that touched you was heaven's way of refining what others could not see. You have been through things that should have broken you completely. Yet here you stand, breathing, still searching for meaning. That survival is your evidence. The scars are not shame. They are signatures of divine craftsmanship. You have carried weight that others never noticed. While many saw your strength, few understood the price of it. They thought your silence meant weakness, but heaven saw your endurance. You were not being punished. You were being prepared. The heat of every trial forged a depth of character that cannot be taught in comfort. The world applauds the crown, but God values the furnace. It is the hidden places of suffering that shape chosen vessels. When everything around you began to fall apart, you asked, "Why me?" But the question heaven was asking in return was, "Why not you?" You were trusted with pain because you could handle it, not because you were strong at first, but because strength would be born through it. You were trusted to endure what would have crushed another, because what flows from your endurance will one day heal many. Remember the nights when tears replaced words. The prayers that felt unanswered were not ignored, they were gathered. Every sigh, every whisper of desperation reached the ears of God. You thought He was silent, but He was shaping you in stillness. The absence of noise was not absence of presence. Heaven is never hurried, and its silence often carries the weight of creation itself. There is something sacred about fire. It burns away what cannot remain, but it also reveals what cannot be destroyed. The person you were before the storm is gone, and that is mercy. The new version of you, tempered, tested, transformed, is the one heaven intended all along. You are emerging from the ashes, not weaker but purified. The same pain that tried to bury you has now built an altar within you. You are learning that not all loss is defeat. Some losses are instruction in disguise. God never wastes suffering. The hands that allowed the breaking are the same hands that mold the vessel again. Each fragment of your story holds light, even the ones that hurt to remember. The moments you wanted to give up are now turning into messages of resilience. There was a reason the fire stayed longer than you expected. It was not because God had forgotten you. It was because He refused to let you come out half-formed. He would rather delay your arrival than send you unprepared. There are levels of anointing that require total surrender, and you were being refined for that very reason. You asked for purpose, and heaven answered with process. And now, the smoke begins to clear. You are starting to see glimpses of what the pain was building. You are not the same person who entered the fire. Your prayers have changed. Your eyes see differently. The shallow things that once distracted you no longer satisfy your soul. You crave truth now, authenticity, alignment. That hunger is proof that the refining worked. Do not curse the fire that made you pure. It stripped away illusions and revealed your essence. You may not realize it, but your endurance has become a testimony. Others will one day look to your life as proof that God sustains the ones He calls. That is why you had to survive what you did. It was not only for you. The oil that flows from your wounds will anoint others to rise. The prophet wrote in the book of Zechariah, chapter 13, verse 9, I will bring the third part through the fire. I will refine them as silver is refined, and will test them as gold is tested. They will call on my name, and I will answer them. Those words describe you perfectly. You are part of the remnant that endured refining and yet remained faithful. Heaven did not let you perish in the flames because there is still more for you to carry. You have been shaped into a vessel of resilience, a living symbol of mercy. The very fire that once terrified you now recognizes your authority. When you look back, you will understand. The furnace was never meant to end you, it was meant to introduce you to your true self. The person who emerges from the flame is the one destined to walk in purpose. And though the world cannot yet see it, heaven already celebrates it. You have been marked by fire. You have felt the ache of solitude, the kind that presses against your ribs like silence turned into stone. The path of the anointed is not crowded. You have walked through seasons where laughter echoed from faraway places, but none from your own heart. You tried to fit in, but peace never followed when you did. This is not punishment. This is the cost of being set apart. The lonely path of the chosen is holy ground disguised as isolation. You were not meant to be understood by everyone. The misunderstanding was divine protection. God hid you in plain sight, surrounded by people who could not see your worth because it was not yet time for revelation. You thought you were invisible, but heaven was shielding you from voices that might distort your calling. The silence was God's secret conversation with your destiny. When no one called your name, heaven whispered it louder. When you felt unseen, angels wrote your story in eternal ink. The rejection that once broke your spirit was heaven's redirection to purpose. Not everyone could go where you were going. Some connections were meant only for a season. Others had to be cut so you could breathe again. You were not losing people, you were losing distractions. The pain of isolation taught you to listen differently. You began to hear the voice of God not in thunder, but in the still small whisper that breaks through the noise of the world. That whisper became your compass. It led you through confusion and guided you through despair. And though you felt alone, you were never abandoned. The apostle reminds us in his second letter to the Corinthians, chapter 12, verse 9. My grace is sufficient for you, for my power is made perfect in weakness. That grace sustained you in the nights no one knew about, the nights where your tears fell on unanswered prayers. You didn't realize it, but you were being taught dependency on divine strength. The people who walked away were never meant to complete you. They were meant to reveal that only God could. Now you stand wiser. You've learned the sacred art of stillness. You've learned that solitude is not the absence of love, it is the space where heaven teaches you identity. You no longer beg for belonging. You understand that you already belong to something eternal. The wilderness that once felt endless has become your sanctuary of revelation. Chosen one. The reason the path has been so lonely is because destiny requires space. God clears the crowd before he crowns the vessel. You were never meant to build your strength from applause. You were meant to build it from presence. The anointing you carry demands silence before sound, pruning before power. Every lonely night was a classroom. Every unanswered call was an invitation to draw nearer. And now, the lessons are turning into evidence. Your peace will soon confuse those who once pitied you. Your strength will speak louder than any explanation. Those who thought you were finished will watch you rise, not with bitterness, but with glory. The isolation was your initiation. You have been hidden, but not forgotten. Heaven hides its treasures until they are ready to be revealed. You are that treasure, refined, silent, powerful. When you finally step forward, it won't be out of desperation, but out of divine timing. Now, before this word settles into your spirit, make a small but powerful declaration of faith. Comment, "I walk alone." Write it and let it echo through your heart. Not as a statement of sadness, but of strength. It means you understand that walking alone with God is better than walking with many without Him. It means you're done begging for belonging and ready to embrace divine direction. When you type it, it is not for visibility, it is for victory. It tells heaven you're no longer afraid of the quiet. You're using it as your power. You are entering the phase where silence turns into revelation, and solitude becomes sacred strength. The same loneliness that once felt like exile will now feel like elevation. The wilderness didn't waste you, it awakened you. Heaven never left you alone. It left you with purpose. You are stepping out of hiding now. The shadows that once covered you can no longer contain the light you carry. Every quiet season has prepared you for visible purpose and divine recognition. This is the moment where heaven exchanges your loneliness for legacy. You were never forgotten. You were planted. The soil of silence was never burial. It was preparation for your public blooming and appointed time. Stand tall. You walk with divine authority now. Every scar, every rejection, every tear has become sacred armor. The same isolation that wounded you now crowns you with unstoppable spiritual strength. There were moments when the night felt endless. Moments when the silence was so deep that you wondered if heaven still remembered your name. But what you didn't realize then was that the wilderness was never punishment. It was a divine meeting place. It was there, in that quiet emptiness, that heaven began to whisper secrets only revealed to those who can endure silence. The wilderness is not the absence of God, it is the classroom of revelation. When the noise of life faded, you finally became still enough to hear the divine frequency that speaks beyond words. You began to sense direction in what once felt like confusion. Every pause, every delay, every not yet was part of a heavenly conversation between your purpose and your patience. There is something sacred about the stillness of God. It humbles the restless heart and strengthens the listening soul. You may not have noticed it, but even when you thought you were forgotten, heaven was speaking directly to you through ordinary things. The unexpected encounter, the dream that lingered, the sudden pull in your spirit, all were whispers in the wilderness. You were being guided, not abandoned. Sometimes the greatest proof of divine nearness is not the thunder of miracles, but the whisper that keeps you from falling apart. Think of how Moses encountered God not in Egypt's noise, but in the quiet flame of the desert. Think of how Elijah heard the divine not in the wind, not in the earthquake, not in the fire, but in the still small voice. The wilderness is where noise ends and knowing begins. You were drawn into solitude because heaven needed your full attention. The Spirit spoke through the prophet Jeremiah, chapter 33 and verse 3. "Call to me and I will answer you, and tell you great and unsearchable things you do not know." That is what was happening in your wilderness. God was not silent, He was selective. He wasn't ignoring your cries, He was filtering the world's distractions so His voice could finally reach you clearly. The quiet did not mean absence, it meant intimacy. You were being taught to discern the difference between noise and the voice. There is power in that awareness. Those who learn to hear God in the wilderness will never be deceived by the noise of the crowd. You have learned to trust invisible movement. You've learned to walk by faith when sight failed you. That is why heaven could trust you with isolation, because you would not trade divine whispers for human approval. In the stillness, you discovered your real strength. It was not in doing, but in being. You realized that peace is not the absence of storms, but the awareness of presence. Even when the world turned cold, something inside you stayed warm. That warmth was the evidence of grace unseen, unbreakable, always near, always. Every tear you cried in the wilderness watered something divine. The ground beneath your pain was holy soil. The seeds sown through your obedience in hidden seasons are about to break through the surface. You will soon see fruit where you once saw only emptiness. The same God who met you in silence is about to speak publicly on your behalf through favor, through opportunity, through divine alignment. But before that unfolds, remember this: do not despise the quiet that remains. The voice of God often lingers in the still moments, waiting to guide your next step. The temptation now will be to rush to fill the silence again with movement, plans, and noise. Resist that. Keep your spirit tuned to the frequency of heaven. The whispers that once sustained you will continue to direct you. There is a kind of wisdom that only comes from the wilderness. It teaches you how to discern presence without proof, how to worship without reward, how to stand without applause. You now carry that wisdom. It's what separates those who know about God from those who truly walk with Him. Your wilderness was sacred training. You learned to survive on manna when you couldn't see the promised land. You learned to trust a hand you could not see and to follow a voice that no one else heard. That kind of faith cannot be faked. It is forged in solitude. And now, as you step forward, the same God who whispered in the dark will confirm His word in the light. The time you thought was wasted has become your greatest investment. Heaven always rewards those who stayed faithful when no one was watching. You did not just endure the wilderness, you were transformed by it. So do not mourn the quiet, treasure it. It is the mark of intimacy between Creator and chosen. The wilderness was never your prison, it was your preparation. You walked in broken, but you will walk out with wisdom, carrying secrets from heaven itself. You have waited so long that hope sometimes felt like a memory. You prayed until your words turned into sighs and your faith felt stretched beyond reason. But hear this clearly: heaven's delay is not heaven's denial. The waiting season has not been wasted, it has been working for you. Every unseen moment of endurance has been aligning divine timing, shaping your character, and preparing the world for your arrival. The delay was not God changing His mind. It was God preparing your moment. You were never behind schedule. You were being synchronized with eternal purpose. Heaven's calendar does not follow earthly clocks. The things that looked delayed were simply developing in dimensions you couldn't see. You wanted speed, but heaven wanted strength. You wanted answers, but heaven was building endurance. There were nights you questioned whether the promise had expired. But promises sealed by God cannot die, they only mature. What you thought was silence was God allowing the soil of your life to become fertile enough to hold the blessing. Sometimes heaven hides what's coming so the enemy cannot intercept it. Your waiting was protection disguised as postponement. Think back to the moments you almost gave up. You were at the edge of breakthrough and didn't know it. Heaven was still moving, even when everything around you felt still. The process was not punishment, it was precision. Every delay has been perfectly measured to ensure that when your moment arrives, it will be unstoppable. According to the writings in the book of Habakkuk, chapter 2, verse 3, "For the vision is yet for an appointed time. Though it tarry, wait for it, for it will surely come, it will not delay." That word is alive in your life right now. The appointed time is not a myth, it is a moment that exists in heaven's design, and it's approaching faster than you think. When it comes, it will unfold suddenly, but it will not be sudden to God. You are about to step into what your patience has been prophesying. The waiting season revealed your motives. It stripped away pride, exposed fear, and purified desire until only faith remained. That is why the wait felt long. It was shaping your heart to carry what's next. Some blessings come easily. Others require transformation first. You are now ready for what would have destroyed you before. The process has purified you. You are entering a divine acceleration, but not the kind that rushes, it's the kind that redeems lost time. Heaven will make up for what was delayed. Every no will make sense when you see the yes that replaces it. You will realize that if God had answered when you asked, you would have received less than what He planned. Do not despise the slow seasons. Patience is a language of trust, and you have learned to speak it fluently. Every day you chose faith instead of frustration. You wrote another line in heaven's record of endurance. That record carries reward. What took others years will begin to unfold swiftly for you because you learned the discipline of waiting without complaint. The world measures progress by movement, but heaven measures it by maturity. You have grown more in the waiting than you did in the winning. The roots developed in secret will sustain the fruit that's about to appear in public. The silence of delay was God's signature on your preparation. And now, the atmosphere around you is shifting. You can feel it in your spirit even before it happens. Doors that were sealed are loosening. Conversations are aligning. Opportunities are awakening. It is not coincidence, it is convergence. Everything you have been waiting for is beginning to recognize your name. So let your heart rest. What's coming will not require striving, it will recognize your readiness. Heaven has watched you endure with grace, and now heaven will respond with favor. You will not need to force open what God Himself is unlocking. And right here, as your spirit receives this word, mark this moment in agreement. Comment 88 below. That number symbolizes divine restoration and new beginnings, doubled heaven's promise of recompense for your waiting. It is not superstition, it is prophetic symbolism. When you type it, you declare that your waiting season is complete, that divine timing has reached your name. Every second of delay has built the weight of glory you now carry. The door is about to open, and when it does, you will understand why it had to take this long. Heaven was never late. Heaven was perfecting you. You have carried heavy things for a long time, dreams that felt delayed, promises that seemed silent, and prayers that floated into the night unanswered. But what you didn't see was that heaven was building capacity inside you. Every burden has been shaping strength. Every tear has been watering unseen seeds. What looked like weight was actually preparation for the weight of glory that is about to rest on you. The reason your journey has felt heavier than most is because your assignment is larger than most. You were not called to a small life. You were chosen to carry impact, to become a living reminder that endurance produces greatness. You have been walking through a silent construction site. The sounds of breaking were not the end, they were the sound of foundations being laid for what is coming next. According to what is revealed in the book of Romans, chapter 8, verse 18. I consider that our present sufferings are not worth comparing with the glory that will be revealed in us. You have felt pain, but you will feel glory. You have carried questions, but soon you will carry answers. What God has been building inside you will soon be visible for all to see. But here is something sacred to understand: glory has weight, and it requires preparation. That's why you had to walk through seasons where everything felt stripped away. Heaven was making sure that when the blessing arrived, your character could hold it. Every burden you carried was never wasted. Each one was a lesson in disguise, a divine rehearsal for purpose. The nights when you wanted to quit taught you how to pray without words. The days when you had nothing left to give showed you that God's strength is real. You've been carrying more than just pain, you've been carrying oil, and oil only flows through pressure. Now, as you move into this new season, heaven invites you not just to receive, but to become part of what it's building. When you like, share, or subscribe, you are not simply clicking a button, you are striking a match. That spark becomes a flame that may light the way for someone still stumbling in the dark. One small gesture from you can carry a great echo through eternity. And if your heart ever feels led, not forced, not out of guilt, but from gratitude to donate, picture it not as paying for words, but as planting a seed in sacred soil. What has watered your spirit today can become rain for someone else tomorrow. Each offering, no matter how small, becomes a drop of oil, keeping this flame alive for weary souls who still search for hope. You see, to share this message is to open another window for light. To subscribe is to build another lampstand where truth can burn. To donate is to pour your drop of oil into the lamp that refuses to die. There is no demand, no pressure, only invitation. Heaven never manipulates, it moves through willing hearts. You give because something in your spirit recognizes itself in this message, and in that quiet agreement between your heart and heaven, grace multiplies. This space exists because someone before you once chose to keep the light burning, and now you become part of that lineage of flame keepers. Your presence here matters. Every act of kindness, every like, every share, every silent gift of support is another heartbeat added to this mission. Together, we are building a bridge of encouragement across the silence of the world. So, let your action be gentle but meaningful. When you give, it's not a transaction, it's translation. You're turning gratitude into movement, and love into light, and heaven sees it. May every act of generosity return to you as light upon your own path. May every seed of kindness bloom in places you least expect. You have carried weight, but now you carry worth, and through every gesture of support, you keep this flame alive for the next soul waiting to remember they too are chosen. Every ember matters. Even the smallest spark can keep another soul warm in their coldest night. Your kindness today may become the fire that saves someone tomorrow. Light travels silently but never stops. What begins as a single flame in your heart can illuminate distant hearts you may never meet but still touch. So keep the fire alive, whether through words, prayer, or generosity. Your light joins countless others, forming a constellation of hope across the darkness. And when heaven looks down, it will see that constellation, each light representing a willing heart, each glow a testimony that love still moves, still burns, still chooses to shine. You have felt the ground tremble beneath your feet, haven't you? The stability you once trusted began to shake, and everything that felt safe started to move. But this shaking is not destruction, it is divine alignment. Heaven is rearranging what can no longer remain, because the next chapter of your life cannot be built on unstable foundations. Every tremor in your life has purpose. It is the sound of heaven making room for transformation. You were never meant to stay in one season forever. Growth demands disruption. You prayed for change, and heaven answered through shaking. What looked like loss was actually repositioning. You asked for open doors, but before doors can open, the old walls must fall. That's why God disturbed your comfort so He could deliver your destiny. When everything around you began to fall apart, you thought something went wrong. But in truth, something finally went right. The shaking removed false attachments. drained out unhealthy patterns and revealed what was solid from what was shallow. It exposed what couldn't go forward with you. That's not punishment, it's purification. We read in the letter to the Hebrews, chapter 12, verse 27. The words "once more" indicate the removing of what can be shaken, that is, created things, so that what cannot be shaken may remain. That is exactly what's happening in you. The shaking was never about chaos, it was about clarity. God was separating temporary structures from eternal foundations. Everything built on ego, fear, or comfort has been challenged, because only what's anchored in faith can stand in the coming season. The storm did not expose your weakness, it revealed your strength. Every time something fell apart, something unseen was being strengthened. Heaven was teaching you that stability doesn't come from circumstances, it comes from conviction. You've learned to stand firm when everything else moved. And that's why your next season will not move you. You are becoming unshakable because you learned to stand when everything shook. You didn't realize it then, but the shaking saved you. It ended alliances that would have drained you later. It ended plans that would have imprisoned your purpose. It stripped away false peace so real peace could arrive. You didn't lose security, you lost limitation. God shakes what we cling to so we'll remember what we're built on. And when you remember that foundation, faith and purpose, divine calling, fear begins to lose its voice. You stop chasing control and start trusting process. That's what the shaking does. It destroys illusions and awakens truth. The uncomfortable truth is that growth often feels like chaos at first. The caterpillar cannot see the butterfly forming during the struggle. It only feels the confinement. The seed cannot see the tree it will become as it's buried in darkness. Likewise, you couldn't see what was forming when everything in your life began to shift. But heaven saw the full picture. The shaking was a sacred process of transformation. There are moments in divine development when everything must be unsettled for destiny to emerge. If you had remained comfortable, you would have settled for less. But now, you're being stretched for more. The shaking has made you flexible enough to carry what's coming. You no longer fear change. You understand it as confirmation that heaven is near. You may still feel fragments of that tremor, relationships shifting, priorities changing, desires evolving. That's not instability, that's transition. You are moving from maintenance to momentum, from hoping to happening. The ground beneath you is not collapsing, it's expanding. What God is building in you needs space to grow, and shaking is how heaven clears that space. Now, when you look back, you will bless the moments that once terrified you. You will realize that every shattered plan was God's mercy in disguise. The things that fell apart made room for the things that will never fall again. You were not being undone, you were being rebuilt stronger, purer, wiser. The shaking before the shift is always the hardest part, but it's also the holiest. It means something new is breaking through. You are stepping into a divine recalibration where every area of your life will begin to align with purpose. What once felt unstable will now support you with strength. The worst is not happening to you. It's happening for you. The breaking has birthed your breakthrough. You are not standing on the ruins of the old, you are standing on the foundation of the new. Heaven has cleared what could not remain, and what remains now is unshakable. You will soon understand why the ground had to quake. What felt like collapse was creation in motion. The shaking was never to destroy you, it was heaven's way of building you unbreakable. Before you ever understood your calling, the enemy understood it. Long before you saw your potential, darkness recognized your light. That's why the battles came early. the warfare felt personal, and the resistance seemed unfair. The attacks were never about who you were, they were about who you were becoming. You have always carried something that threatened the kingdom of darkness, even before you could define it. Every strange opposition, every sudden betrayal, every season of heaviness was not random. It was recognition. The enemy saw the mark of heaven on you and tried to blur it before you could realize what it meant. You were targeted because you were chosen. Spiritual warfare doesn't find the weakest, it finds the most significant. Think of it this way: no one steals from empty houses. The intensity of your battles reveals the value of what you carry. You are not being attacked because you are cursed. You are being attacked because you are carrying something sacred. Darkness always tries to silence light before it shines. The fact that you are still standing means you have already won more battles than you realize. You have walked through seasons where confusion clouded your mind, and heaviness settled in your chest like a weight that wouldn't lift. Those weren't coincidences, they were assignments of distraction. The enemy cannot remove your anointing, so he tries to convince you to abandon it. But even when you stumbled, grace guarded your steps. Every failure was intercepted by mercy. Every time you felt surrounded, heaven was surrounding what surrounded you. We are reminded through the writings of David in the Psalms, chapter 27, verse 2. When the wicked advanced against me to devour me, it was my enemies and my foes who stumbled and fell. This has been your hidden reality. What looked like weakness was actually warfare happening on your behalf. Every invisible battle you endured, those long nights of fear, doubt, and exhaustion, was heaven proving that no weapon formed against you would prosper. Even when you didn't feel strong, strength was surrounding you. You've wondered why the opposition seems to appear right before breakthrough. That is because the closer you get to fulfillment, the more desperate the resistance becomes. The enemy doesn't waste energy on neutral ground. He fights fiercest near the gates of promise. The storm always intensifies before stillness, because the enemy senses that heaven is about to shift your season. Yet, what the enemy meant for harm, God has been using for preparation. Every attack has trained your discernment. Every false accusation has deepened your humility. Every spiritual storm has taught you how to anchor yourself in prayer rather than panic. You have learned to identify voices, to sense atmospheres, to fight from victory instead of for it. You are no longer reacting to darkness, you are commanding it to flee. The opposition was a mirror showing you what the enemy feared most. If he tried to attack your peace, it's because peace is your weapon. If he attacked your relationships, it's because unity is your strength. If he attacked your purpose, it's because your obedience threatens his plans. Everything he touched revealed what heaven treasures in you. Now, you are stronger, wiser, and more aware of the unseen realm. You are not paranoid, you are prophetic. You have learned to discern the difference between spiritual warfare and divine pruning. You know now that pain doesn't always mean punishment. Sometimes it's promotion disguised as pressure. Do not resent the attacks, they verified your anointing. The same darkness that tried to destroy you has become evidence that you are dangerous to the kingdom of lies. You were not just surviving opposition, you were being trained for authority. Every time you stood your ground in faith, you advanced territory. Every time you refused to quit, heaven expanded your reach. And now, the enemy has run out of strategies. What once intimidated you no longer shakes you. The same battles that once broke you now bore you. You have matured beyond manipulation. The warfare no longer defines you. It reminds you that you are chosen. When the next challenge appears, you will face it differently. You will not panic. You will perceive. You will not fear. You will discern. You will not fight for validation. You will fight from revelation. You have already seen too much of God's faithfulness to doubt it now. You are entering a season where the very things that once wounded you will become weapons in your hands. Your endurance is your evidence. The enemy saw it first, but now the world will see it too. You were never the victim. You were the vessel. There is a moment in every divine story when identity shifts, when what the world called you no longer fits who heaven declares you to be. You are standing in that moment now. The season of labels, limitations, and false definitions is ending. Heaven is about to rewrite your name. You have been called many things by people who never saw your full story, misunderstood, too intense, too different, too much. But what they could not recognize was the divine blueprint underneath your process. You were never meant to carry the names given by broken mouths. Heaven has always had another name for you, one written before time began. You are stepping into a season where revelation replaces reputation. The version of you that the world tolerated is being replaced by the one heaven has endorsed. The name God speaks over you is not based on what you've done, it's based on what you were designed to become. Every time you were misjudged, heaven was quietly preparing your unveiling. The Spirit spoke through the prophet Isaiah, chapter 62, verse 2. You shall be called by a new name, which the mouth of the Lord will name. That promise is alive within you. The change in your life is not random, it is identity unfolding. You are not evolving into someone new. You are remembering who you have always been. The pain, the loss, the delays, they were all chisels carving away false identities that life tried to glue to your soul. You were never too much. You were always more than enough. You were never hard to love. You were meant to teach deeper love. You were never lost. You were hidden until the right moment, and that moment is now. The unveiling has begun, and heaven is reintroducing you to yourself. Everything you've survived has earned you this clarity. You now recognize your value without needing validation. You no longer chase places where your spirit feels small. You are not defined by the opinions of those who couldn't see you. Your identity is defined by the God who created you. Do you remember how Jacob wrestled through the night, refusing to let go until he was blessed? He entered that struggle with one name and emerged with another. You too have wrestled through long nights fighting fear, rejection, and the weight of expectation. And just like Jacob, you are leaving those battles with a new identity. The limp you carry is not shame, it's proof that you encountered God and survived. You will soon notice that the world responds to you differently. Doors will open that never opened before, not because you tried harder, but because heaven changed your name tag. What once rejected you will now recognize you. You are being magnetically aligned to what carries your true name. Favor follows identity. When you step into who you are, everything attached to that identity finds you. The words spoken against you no longer hold authority. The curses break when identity awakens. The opinions fade when heaven speaks. The old name represented survival. The new name represents purpose. You will no longer answer to what wounded you. You will answer only to what anointed you. So let this be your declaration today. Let it rise from your spirit as an act of agreement with heaven's rewriting. Comment, I know me. It may sound simple, but it's prophetic. It means you no longer define yourself by trauma, opinions, or titles. You are declaring, I recognize the person heaven designed beneath all the noise. When you write those words, you align with the truth that your real identity is emerging, not who the world shaped, but who God named. You have carried names that belong to your past, but heaven is giving you a name that belongs to your future. You will walk with new authority, speak with new clarity, and move with new purpose. The identity that once felt heavy will now feel holy. Your steps are being ordered toward recognition and restoration. The world is about to meet the version of you that heaven has known all along. You are not who you used to be, and that is the greatest miracle of all. You will notice a quiet confidence rising within you. The kind that doesn't need validation to breathe. That's not pride, it's alignment. It's what happens when your soul finally recognizes its divine blueprint. Heaven is affirming what life once denied. Every time you walk into a room, atmosphere will shift, not because you demand it, but because identity carries authority. The world responds differently when a chosen one walks in their true name. So when you said, "I know me," you weren't just commenting words, you were activating reality. That phrase means awareness, ownership, and acceptance of your divine identity. It's heaven's echo spoken through your voice. There is a deep peace that comes when you finally understand that covenant is greater than crowd. You were never chosen to blend in. You were called to belong somewhere sacred. The world teaches you to chase applause, to measure worth by numbers and noise. But heaven whispers something quieter. Impact is measured in obedience. You are not built for popularity, you are built for purpose. The reason you never quite fit the mold is because you weren't made from common clay. You were shaped in a higher workshop. You walk differently because your steps are guided by covenant, not convenience. This path may be narrow, but it leads to promise. And sometimes, God will ask you to walk alone so that He can prove you're never truly alone. The apostle reminds us in his letter to the Galatians, chapter 1, verse 10, "If I were still trying to please people, I would not be a servant of Christ." That truth sets you free. You don't need the approval of the world when you already carry the endorsement of heaven. The covenant on your life is not something you earn, it's something you honor. Every time you obey when no one sees, every time you love when it's inconvenient, every time you give when it costs something, you reaffirm that covenant. You see, covenant is not about contracts or signatures, it's about heart posture. It's choosing loyalty even when it's quiet. It's standing in faith even when results delay. It's loving the mission even when the crowd leaves. The world shouts, "Be seen," but heaven whispers, "Be steady." When you like, share, or subscribe, you are not just following a page, you are adding another stone to the altar of consistency. You are helping the sound of truth echo farther, touching hearts that still wander in confusion. Your simple click becomes a ripple, like tossing a pebble into a quiet pond, sending circles of hope outward into unknown shores. This is how light travels through simple acts, done with sincerity. A share may reach a heart that has given up. A like might remind someone they are seen. A subscription becomes a tether connecting one soul to a well of encouragement that keeps flowing week after week. And if ever your spirit feels stirred to donate, think of it as watering a tree whose fruit you once tasted. Not payment, not obligation, just gratitude turned into action. Every drop you pour helps roots go deeper so the branches can spread wider. You are not funding words, you are fueling wings. The message becomes a dove carrying peace into homes you may never step inside. This is the beauty of divine partnership. It's never forced. It flows. It's the same as lighting a candle from another flame. Your fire is not diminished, it multiplies. Giving is not about losing, it's about extending. You become part of something unseen but eternal. If the message has ever found you in a low place, then you already know what light feels like when it enters darkness. By supporting, you are simply building more windows for that light to travel through. Every gift, every click, every prayer, each becomes a window pane through which someone else will see sunrise again. Do it only when peace leads you, never pressure. Heaven loves cheerful givers, not fearful ones. And giving isn't only money, it's time, prayer, attention, encouragement. Every seed counts. Some plant, some water, some harvest, but all belong to the same garden. In this covenant walk, we are gardeners together. Some days you sow hope, other days you reap healing, and every once in a while your kindness becomes the shade for someone else's weary heart. The fruit of covenant is always community souls strengthened by one another's faithfulness. So let every act of generosity, whether it's a like, a share, a subscription, or a donation, become a whisper to heaven, I'm part of this light. You're not giving to a person, you're giving through a purpose. You're helping the river flow farther. Remember, even rivers begin with a drop, even mighty trees begin with a seed. Even revival begins with a small yes whispered in faith. Every act of support, however small, becomes part of something holy, a covenant between heaven and earth that says we will not let the light go out. And as you walk this journey, may your own life overflow with abundance. May the measure of love you release return to you multiplied in peace, provision, and presence. Heaven always remembers those who keep the flame alive. You are not following a crowd, you are walking in covenant, and through your quiet loyalty, heaven keeps the story moving, one heart at a time. There comes a moment when heaven hands you something that is not an object, but a weight, something invisible yet undeniable. That is the moment of the mantle, the divine exchange between what you have endured and what you are now trusted to carry. The mantle is not earned through titles, positions, or applause. It is forged in obedience and sealed in surrender. It is not a garment made of fabric, it is a covering woven from faith, tears, and perseverance. You may not realize it, but your journey has been preparing you for this exact transfer. Every trial, every breaking, every wilderness season has trained your hands to hold what others may mishandle. You have been trained by pain, refined by isolation, and strengthened by waiting. That is why the mantle now fits you perfectly, Tsai. It was never meant for anyone else. When Elijah stood before Elisha, the prophet did not offer comfort. He offered responsibility. A mantle always costs something. It requires letting go of what was and embracing what will be. When you receive it, you are saying yes to being stretched, seen, and sometimes misunderstood. The mantle will draw both favor and friction because it carries evidence of divine authority. But what a gift it is to be trusted by heaven. We find in the first book of Kings, chapter 19, verse 19, Elijah went up to Elisha and threw his cloak around him. That cloak was more than cloth. It was calling. It represented inheritance, legacy, and continuation. The same is true for you. You are not just being blessed, you are being entrusted. The story of those who came before you now flows through you. Their prayers, their sacrifices, their unfinished dreams, they all converge in this moment. Heaven does not waste lineage. It extends it through willing vessels. This is why your battles have felt generational. You were breaking patterns that did not start with you because your victory will not end with you. The mantle on your life carries the responsibility to build what others only began. You are a bridge between what was and what will be. The dreams of yesterday's saints are being realized through your obedience today. Do not underestimate the quiet way heaven entrusts. The transfer often happens not in grand ceremonies but in sacred stillness. You feel it when your words start to carry more weight, when your presence shifts atmospheres, when your prayers pierce deeper. That is how you know the mantle has settled. It does not announce itself with noise, it reveals itself through impact. And though the mantle feels heavy at times, it also carries ease, because you are not carrying it alone. The same God who gave it strengthens you to bear it. He will never anoint you for what He will not assist you in. You may feel unqualified, but that's the proof you are chosen. Heaven never chooses the proud, it clothes the humble. Do not fear what comes next. The mantle does not demand perfection, it invites partnership. You are stepping into divine cooperation, not divine competition. Your role is not to outshine others, but to continue the light. When Elijah left, the fire did not die. It multiplied through Elisha. And so it will be with you. The fire in you will ignite others, and what you begin will become legacy. The mantle moment always comes with movement. You will feel a stirring dreams waking up again, words returning to your mouth, courage filling your chest. That's not imagination, that's inheritance. You are walking in promises spoken long before your name was known on earth. From this day forward, you will see signs of divine trust all around you. People will begin to draw strength from your words, peace from your presence, direction from your example. You won't need to announce it, they'll just sense it. The mantle speaks louder than introduction. So walk with reverence, but also with confidence. The same God who called you has already equipped you. The weight you feel is not burden, it's confirmation. The mantle is proof that heaven sees you as ready. What was once a season of endurance has become a season of empowerment. Carry it well, for this is the hour you were prepared for. You now carry what fire could not burn and storms could not steal. The mantle resting upon you is heaven's proof that survival was never your ending. It was your ordination into purpose and divine continuity. Walk forward knowing the unseen hosts walk with you. Every step releases inheritance into the earth. The cloak upon your shoulders carries generations of prayers now fulfilled through your obedience and unwavering faith. There is a sound rising around you now, soft at first, like a heartbeat remembered, then stronger, like a drum of destiny calling you forward. The silence that once wrapped your life is beginning to break open. The time for hiding has ended. The hour of your voice has come. For too long, you believed that your words didn't matter, that they were swallowed by the noise of the world. But heaven disagrees. Every syllable spoken in sincerity, every prayer whispered through tears, every encouragement you gave even when you needed it yourself, all of it reached the throne. Your voice was never lost, it was being trained. Heaven has been tuning your tone for this moment. You are entering a season where your voice will no longer echo in empty rooms. It will awaken hearts that have fallen asleep. There is an authority in you now that was not there before, forged through your suffering and silence. You speak differently when you've walked through storms. You love deeper when you've survived loneliness. The same voice that once trembled under pressure now carries power. As Jesus himself declared in the Gospel of Matthew, chapter 10, verse 20, "It will not be you speaking, but the Spirit of your Father speaking through you." That is the promise resting upon your life. Heaven will speak through you not because you are perfect, but because you are available. The words you release will not be ordinary, they will carry light. Some will bring healing, some will bring conviction, and some will awaken destinies long asleep. You are not just talking anymore, you are transmitting heaven. Every chosen one eventually reaches this point when what was once personal pain becomes a public message. You've been entrusted with a voice that carries remedy. People will listen to you and hear echoes of their own healing. You will speak what others are afraid to say, but in your words, they will find courage. You will. Don't underestimate the reach of your sound. Sometimes it won't be on a stage. Sometimes it will be a quiet text, a comforting word, a prayer whispered at midnight. Those small moments shift eternity in ways you'll never see. You are not called to speak for applause, you are called to speak for alignment. Every time your voice obeys the Spirit, heaven moves closer to earth. You've spent years speaking to God about mountains. Now you will speak to mountains about your God. Your declarations will carry authority because they are backed by history. You've seen God show up too many times to doubt Him now. The way you speak will reveal the one who sent you. And yet, this new season requires balance. Power without humility becomes pride, and purpose without compassion becomes noise. The more your influence grows, the more your dependence must deepen. Stay anchored in presence, and your words will always flow from purity. Heaven does not need eloquence, it needs authenticity. Speak what you live what you speak, and the world will recognize the difference. Your voice is not for competition, it is for commission. You are part of heaven's communication network on earth, a messenger chosen to carry light through sound. Every syllable you release in truth is a key unlocking someone's freedom. When you speak life, chains loosen. When you declare peace, storms begin to quiet. And now, as this mantle of expression settles upon you, heaven asks for your agreement. Mark this moment in your spirit. Comment 333 below. That number represents divine voice and heavenly alignment, the triple confirmation that Father, Son, and Spirit are breathing through you. It is not superstition, it is symbolism. When you type it, you are declaring that your voice will no longer serve fear, but faith. You are stepping into prophetic partnership with heaven itself. This is your commissioning. You will not speak to impress, you will speak to awaken. You will not echo the noise, you will release the sound of heaven. The words flowing from you will travel farther than your presence ever could. They will find hearts, heal wounds, and rewrite atmospheres. So speak, chosen one. Even if your voice trembles, let it be heard. The Spirit is ready, the world is listening, and heaven has chosen you as its echo in this hour. When you typed 333, you didn't just press numbers, you pressed a seal into the unseen. 3 is the rhythm of heaven creation, redemption, and resurrection moving in harmony through you. It means your voice is now synced with divine order. Each word you release carries structure, power, and life. You no longer speak from emotion, but from eternity's echo. So every phrase you share becomes prophecy. Every truth you declare builds alignment between heaven and earth. 333 is your reminder your voice is not random, it's sacred, chosen, and commissioned. There are moments in the life of the chosen when the veil between the visible and invisible begins to thin. What once felt like distance suddenly becomes presence. What once was prayer becomes conversation. This is the season of visitation, the hour when heaven starts confirming everything it has whispered to you in secret. You are stepping into a time when divine proof will follow divine promise. Visitation is not always thunder and lightning. Sometimes it arrives quietly, like a gentle shift in the air around you, or a sudden knowing in your heart that you are not alone. It may come as dreams too vivid to forget, or peace so deep it silences every fear. Heaven doesn't need spectacle to be real, it only needs permission. And now, your spirit has finally said yes. You may notice signs that seem too precise to dismiss encounters. Repeated words. Divine timing. Do not brush them away as coincidence. Heaven has a language, and it speaks through alignment. When doors open that logic cannot explain. When the right people appear at the right time. When confirmation comes from unexpected mouths, that is visitation in motion. God is walking through your timeline, leaving footprints of reassurance that you are exactly where you need to be. We find in the book of Genesis, chapter 28, verse 16, Surely the Lord is in this place, and I did not know it." Jacob spoke those words after waking from a dream where heaven opened above him. He thought he was alone, running, uncertain, but the divine had been there all along. The same is true for you. What you thought were ordinary moments have been saturated with unseen presence. Heaven has been standing beside you in meetings, in hallways, in the quiet of your room. You were never without guidance, you just didn't know how close God was. Visitation often begins subtly because heaven values humility over performance. It meets you not when you are strongest, but when you are still. You cannot chase it. You can only receive it. The world tells you to strive, but heaven tells you to notice. The more you become aware, the more visible its hand becomes. And when visitation comes, it carries two things: confirmation and commissioning. It confirms what you've believed in faith, and it commissions you for what's next. You will begin to sense a new confidence in your steps, not born of ego, but of clarity. The questions that once haunted you will begin to fade because presence answers more than information ever could. Do not be surprised if people around you start recognizing something different about you. They might say your eyes seem brighter, your peace stronger, your words deeper. That's not imagination, that's residue of visitation. Once you've been near glory, it leaves its mark. Moses' face glowed after meeting God on the mountain. Yours will glow in ways the world cannot explain but cannot ignore. Visitation doesn't mean the absence of trials, it means assurance in them. You will still face challenges, but fear will no longer rule them. You will walk through storms with calm, because you know who walks beside you. The same presence that visited you in private will manifest as strength in public. When heaven visits, it never comes empty-handed. It brings peace, revelation, direction, and renewal. The confusion of the past season will begin to unravel, piece by piece. You will see how every delay, every loss, every detour was preparation for divine encounter. God never wastes the waiting. He fills it with setup. In this sacred hour, listen closely. You might sense a holy restlessness, a nudge to pray, to pause, to look deeper. Those are invitations. The King does not announce himself with noise. He arrives in stillness. Every time your heart grows quiet and awareness heightens, visitation unfolds again. Soon, you'll realize that the God who visited you didn't just come to comfort you. He came to dwell. The same presence that once appeared like a guest is now building a home inside your spirit. You will not have to look outward for assurance anymore. You will carry it within. And as you move forward, you will begin to live from that awareness. Heaven will no longer feel distant, it will feel daily. Every breath will remind you the divine is here, in this place, in this moment, in you. You will begin to notice miracles woven into ordinary hours, answers hidden in small kindnesses, direction disguised as coincidence. Heaven doesn't always shout, sometimes it hums softly through the rhythm of your days. So walk gently through this season. Every sunrise, every breath, every encounter could be a doorway. The line between sacred and simple is vanishing because the divine no longer visits you. Are living inside the visitation now. You are not walking this journey alone. Across time and nations, others like you are awakening. Their hearts beat to the same divine rhythm, stirred by the same unseen call. You are part of something far larger than your personal story. A movement of the chosen, a rising of the remnant. These are the ones who refuse to bow to fear, who would not trade truth for comfort, who still believe light is stronger than shadow. You are one among them, a flame in a gathering fire. This rising isn't loud or chaotic, it's steady and holy. Heaven is assembling its chosen ones in silence before revealing them in power. Like stars emerging one by one across the night, they appear in different places yet shine from the same source. Each carries a unique assignment, but together they form a constellation of purpose stretching across the earth. That is what you are, part of a divine network of light designed to push back darkness not through force, but through faithfulness. The Spirit spoke through the prophet Joel. Chapter 2, verse 11. The Lord thunders at the head of his army. His forces are beyond number, and mighty is the army that obeys his command. That army is not made of soldiers in armor, it's made of servants in surrender. Its strength is not violence, but virtue. Its power is not control, but conviction. The remnant rising now carries weapons unseen, words that heal, compassion that disarms, integrity that disrupts deception. And you, chosen one, are enlisted in this holy revolution of light. Perhaps you've felt this stirring without knowing what to call it. The sense that something larger is shifting, that your hunger for righteousness keeps growing while the world seems to spin further into confusion. That hunger is your confirmation. You are not out of place, you are out ahead. The remnant always feels early because they are sent to prepare the way. You will begin to notice how your spirit recognizes others marked by the same calling. Their presence will feel familiar, as if you've known them before. That is divine recognition, the meeting of lights who were never meant to walk alone. Together you will build, pray, create, and carry solutions to problems this generation cannot solve through human wisdom alone. Do not despise small beginnings. Remnant movements rarely start on stages, they begin in hearts. One voice in a quiet room becomes 2, then 10, then thousands connected not by fame, but by fire. You may never meet most of them face to face, but your obedience resonates through unseen threads of grace that tie you all together. Heaven's network runs deeper than social systems, it's written in eternity. The remnant is rising in art, in business, in education, in families. They look ordinary but carry extraordinary assignments. They are reformers disguised as teachers, intercessors hidden as leaders, prophets walking corporate halls. The chosen ones are infiltrating darkness not to destroy but to illuminate. You are one of those lights sent to change environments simply by being aligned with truth. You will notice how your desires shift. What used to entertain now feels empty. What once distracted now feels heavy. That's because your spirit is being refined for purpose. You are drawn to purity, to presence, to meaning, and that hunger is holy. The remnant lives differently not because they are better, but because they have seen too much to go back. There will be moments when standing apart feels lonely. But remember, separation always precedes gathering. God is separating his chosen ones not to isolate them, but to position them, like pieces of a puzzle scattered across nations. Each is being placed in exact alignment, and when the picture is complete, the world will witness unity that does not depend on uniformity. You are part of a generation that will carry both gentleness and fire. You will speak peace but walk in power. You will restore ancient truths in modern language. The rise of the remnant is not coming, it's here. It looks like you, like them, like all who still dare to believe that good will outlast evil. When you wake tomorrow, lift your eyes. Somewhere across the world, another chosen one will be waking too, carrying the same flame. Though you've never met, your spirits are aligned, together. Without even knowing it, you are shifting the balance of history toward light. Every prayer you whisper joins theirs in the unseen, weaving a tapestry of faith that stretches across continents. The world may never see the threads, but heaven watches them shimmer like rivers of light. This is the remnant's secret strength, not noise, but unity. Many hearts, one fire, many voices, one echo. Many lives, one divine heartbeat. The battles you fought were not in vain. Every scar, every sleepless night, every prayer uttered in exhaustion has been collected, remembered, and transformed into strength. The crown that heaven places upon your life is not made of gold. It is forged from endurance. You are being crowned in battle, not because you never bled, but because you refused to stop. Each wound has become a story. Each tear has become a seed. You carry a testimony that no one else can tell the way you can. The crown you wear is invisible to the world, but radiant in the spirit. It gleams with resilience, faith, and relentless hope. What once hurt you has become the very proof that grace never left your side. The Apostle Paul wrote in his second letter to Timothy, chapter 4, Verse 7, I have fought the good fight. I have finished the race. I have kept the faith. That is the anthem of every chosen warrior. You didn't just survive, you stayed faithful. And now, heaven rewards that faith with authority. You are being entrusted with influence, not for pride, but for purpose. The crown is not for display. It is a call to responsibility. To carry peace into chaos, to bring light where there is confusion, to be an anchor where others drift. There is something sacred about a life that has wrestled with darkness and still chooses light. You have become a living altar, proof that love endures through every storm. This is what it means to be crowned in battle, to emerge not untouched, but transformed, not perfect, but purified. And now, as you stand on the other side of those battles, heaven whispers a gentle invitation. When you like, share, or comment, you are not performing, you are planting. Every interaction is a seed dropped into the soil of someone else's breakthrough, somewhere. Another heart is weary, searching for a sign, and your small action may become the spark that guides them home. Think of it like passing a torch down a mountain trail at night. Each share becomes a flicker of fire, each comment a flare of hope, each subscription a log added to the communal fire that warms cold souls. What you've received doesn't end with you, it multiplies when you pass it on. And if ever your spirit feels moved to donate, don't think of it as giving to a person. See it as pouring oil back into the flame that once helped you see. You are not paying for words. You are nurturing light. Every drop of oil you release keeps the lamp burning for the next traveler stumbling through their dark night of faith. This is how the chosen sustain each other, not by demand, but by devotion. You give because something inside you recognizes the same flame. Your generosity becomes poetry. Your kindness becomes ministry, and your willingness becomes worship. No one will ever ask you out of pressure, because heaven never bargains, it only invites. Giving is never about amount, it's about alignment. When you contribute to light, you join heaven's rhythm of renewal. Every act of kindness, whether through a message, a share, or a silent gift, ripples outward like concentric waves, touching shores you'll never see but heaven maps clearly. When you choose to support, you're not building an empire, you're strengthening a lighthouse. Each gesture ensures the beam keeps shining through the fog. You become part of a chorus of unseen hands that keep turning the light outward so others can find their way. And for those who cannot give, your presence here is already a gift. Your time, your listening, your quiet amen in the heart, it all matters. Heaven counts every ounce of sincerity. This movement is not about wealth, it's about warmth. Every willing heart adds another ember to the flame that never dies. So if this message has spoken to your spirit, let your response be simple and sincere. Like, share, comment, or subscribe not as a duty, but as devotion. Each act becomes a line in a greater song, a harmony of hearts who believe that light still conquers darkness. And as you do, may you feel the crown on your spirit glimmer again, not for victory alone, but for the courage to keep going. The crown is not a trophy, it's a testimony. It tells the world I fought, I endured, and by grace I still stand. You are crowned, not because you won without wounds, but because you loved without limits. And now, every step you take shines with quiet royalty. The battle didn't break you, it revealed you. Walk forward gently, for even your footprints now carry healing for those still fighting to remember who they are. There comes a moment when all the scattered pieces begin to form a picture. The pain, the delay, the silence, the tests, suddenly they no longer feel random. The puzzle of your past starts to make sense in the light of revelation. This is the unveiling, the sacred moment when heaven reveals why you were chosen out of millions. You see, everything you endured was not preparation for status, but for stewardship. You were not chosen because you were better, you were chosen because you were willing to stay when others left, willing to believe when evidence vanished, willing to walk by faith when sight was too painful. Heaven saw your yes and began to weave eternity through it. Every chosen one eventually arrives at this unveiling. It is both beautiful and humbling. You realize that the purpose you carried was never just about you. You were a vessel, a conduit through which light could travel. The refining you experienced was not punishment, it was precision. God was shaping you into the kind of person who could hold purpose without breaking under it. The voice of God thundered in the book of Exodus, chapter 9, verse 16. I have raised you up for this very purpose, that my power might be displayed in you, and that my name might be proclaimed in all the earth. That verse captures the heartbeat of your unveiling. You were chosen to display His power through your perseverance, His love through your forgiveness, His grace through your endurance. Your life itself is the message. You are heaven's letter written in human form, each scar, each smile, each prayer a line of divine handwriting. When heaven unveils purpose, it doesn't always arrive with applause. Sometimes it comes quietly, like sunrise after a long night. One day you simply wake up and realize you are different. The things that used to hurt you no longer control you. The memories that once caused pain now carry wisdom. The places that once drained you now inspire you. That is transformation. That is revelation becoming reality. The unveiling does not erase your past, it redeems it. The very things you thought disqualified you have become the evidence that you were meant for more. Every failure that once haunted you now serves as proof of grace. Every rejection is turned into redirection. You begin to understand that purpose was hidden not beyond the pain, but within it. As the veil lifts, you will start to see connections, how certain delays protected you, how certain losses prepared you, how certain endings were disguised beginnings. It all makes sense now because you're seeing from heaven's vantage point. You realize that God didn't forget. He was orchestrating. He didn't abandon, He was aligning. And in this unveiling, peace returns. The questions that tormented you no longer matter because the answers live within you. You carry understanding not through explanation but through experience. You no longer need to ask why me because you finally know for this reason. You were chosen to be light in a time of shadows, mercy in a world of judgment, hope where hearts have grown cold. The unveiling does something even greater. It changes how you see others. You begin to recognize purpose in their pain, potential in their wilderness, value in their flaws. You stop judging stories by their cover because you know how long it took for yours to be rewritten. Compassion becomes your new language, and love becomes your power. There is a stillness that comes after unveiling a holy calm. You don't rush anymore. You don't chase validation. You simply walk, aware that every step fulfills something divine. You carry peace like a garment, wisdom like fragrance, and humility like armor. The unveiling has made you both strong and soft, fierce and gentle, an embodiment of grace and truth. And when you look in the mirror now, you no longer see the broken version of yourself. You see the reflection of purpose staring back at you. You see someone who was chosen not for perfection, but for surrender. Someone who carries the fingerprint of heaven. Someone who was never random, never forgotten, always meant. This is the unveiling, the moment your story aligns with its divine author, and you finally understand you were chosen not just to survive, but to reveal. You now walk as living revelation, every breath echoing divine purpose. What once felt like ashes now shines as proof that heaven writes masterpieces with broken ink and surrendered hearts. Carry this awareness gently. The unveiling is not an ending but a beginning. The moment heaven's secret becomes your story and your story becomes someone else's light. There is a quiet celebration in heaven that begins the moment you finally step into everything you were meant to be. It doesn't arrive with trumpets or noise, but with peace, a deep, steady peace that settles into your bones. This is the coronation of purpose, the moment heaven crowns obedience with fulfillment. You have walked through years that felt like waiting rooms, seasons that felt endless, and battles that seemed unfair. Yet through it all, you remained faithful. The crown that now rests upon your life is not a reward for perfection. It is the result of perseverance. Every time you chose grace over bitterness, love over anger, faith over fear, you were building this coronation moment. It was proclaimed in the book of James, chapter 1, verse 12. Blessed is the one who perseveres under trial, because having stood the test, that person will receive the crown of life that the Lord has promised to those who love him. That crown of life is not jewelry, it's transformation. It's the proof that you no longer move for recognition, but for relationship. The old striving is gone. The frantic search for approval has ended. You have discovered what all chosen ones eventually learn. The greatest reward is not what you receive, but who you become. You have become peace walking, love breathing, grace in motion. You are now a living reminder that endurance produces fruit only time can reveal. The same fire that once frightened you has now become the flame that lights your path. The crown you carry shines not because it's polished, but because it survived. This coronation is quiet because true kings and queens are not crowned in crowds, they are crowned in solitude. Heaven's ceremonies happen in stillness. You may never hear the applause, but you will feel the approval. Every step you take now echoes with divine affirmation. You did it, you became what you were born to be. Do not imagine your coronation as a throne of grandeur. Think instead of a sunrise. It happens every day, quietly, faithfully, illuminating everything around it without demanding attention. That is what you have become, a dawn breaking after a long night. The world around you may not understand the cost of your light, but heaven knows every tear that turned into oil. From this moment forward, your life will flow differently. Where there was striving, there will be ease. Where there was confusion, there will be clarity. You will find that doors no longer resist you, not because they are easy, but because they recognize you. Destiny opens for those who wear their crown with humility, and though the journey continues, it no longer feels heavy. You've learned that strength isn't about carrying everything, it's about knowing what to release. You have let go of the need to prove, to explain, to defend. You are too full of peace to argue with what no longer belongs. This is maturity, the mark of those truly crowned by heaven. You will see evidence of this coronation not in applause, but in impact. People will feel calmer around you, safer in your presence. Wisdom will flow from your words, healing from your silence. You won't even need to try. You will simply be. Purpose does not perform, it radiates. The crown does not make you higher than others, it makes you responsible for others. You now walk as a guide for those still climbing their mountains. You will speak hope into tired hearts and remind them that the pain has purpose. Your light will not blind, it will beckon. It will say, "If I survived, so can you." This is the beauty of your coronation. It's not about arriving. It's about awakening. You have become fully alive, fully aware, fully aligned. Heaven's dream for you has taken human form, and earth will never be the same because of it. You have been revealed, refined, and now released. The circle is complete, but the story is eternal. Every breath you take now carries heaven's signature, chosen, crowned, complete. And from this day onward, your life will forever whisper this truth: grace always wins. You now walk not as the one seeking purpose, but as the one embodying it. Every step releases peace. Every breath becomes praise. You have become the living evidence of divine fulfillment. Heaven smiles through your obedience. The storms that once defined you now bow before your calm. You are no longer waiting for destiny, you are walking inside it. And as light surrounds your crown, remember, this is not an ending but a beginning. Purpose has found its voice in you, and eternity has found its echo on earth. You have reached the end of this journey, but not the end of your story. What has awakened inside you today is only the beginning of a greater unfolding. You are walking with new eyes, new strength, and new peace. The words you have heard were never random, they were reminders of what heaven already placed within you. Now that light burns brighter, but light was never meant to stay hidden. When you like, share, or comment, it isn't performance, it's prophecy. Each simple act becomes a spark that helps another soul remember who they are. Somewhere, someone is scrolling through darkness, waiting for the same light that once found you. Your action may become their moment of awakening. Subscribing is like planting a tree beside the river of this message. It allows the flow to continue, providing shade and fruit for those who will arrive after you. And if your heart ever feels led to donate, picture it not as giving away, but as letting light travel farther. Each seed of generosity becomes a lamp carried into unseen places, keeping the fire alive for hearts still finding their way home. There is no pressure here, only invitation. Support when peace whispers. Share when joy stirs. Give when gratitude overflows. This is how chosen ones sustain light together, not through demand, but through devotion. Every action offered in love becomes a bridge of hope for someone else. You are now part of a circle that never closes, a movement of hearts determined to keep light alive. So if this message has stirred your spirit, let your next act, like share, comment, subscribe, or give, be your way of saying, let the light keep burning. May peace follow your steps, and may your own light never go dim.